Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan is also sacrificing many things, he says. First, his official residence, and now his sleep. Apparently, the Prime Minister is having sleepless nights. And no, it's not because his house was finally rented out. It's because of inflation. You have to listen to this.
ये सबसे बड़ा मेरे लिए अगर आप कहना कि एक चीज़ जो मुझे कई दफ़ा रातों को जगाती है वो सिर्फ महंगाई है और महंगाई का सिर्फ मैं अब आपको समझाना चाहता हूँ कि देखें मुझे कई दफ़ा बड़ा अफसोस होता है मैं अपने हमारे पास बड़े अच्छे इस मुल्क में सहाफ़ी हैं हमारे पास हम बड़े खुशकिस्मत हैं कि हमारे पास एक ऐसी भी जर्नलिज्म है जो कि बड़ा लोगों को इन्फॉर्म करती है लोगों को आगाह करती है.
So price rise is keeping Imran Khan awake. I know it sounds funny, but the problem is serious. Last month, inflation in Pakistan hit 12.3%. That's a 21-month high. In October, Pakistan had the fourth highest inflation in the world. Argentina, Turkey, Brazil, and then Pakistan at number 4. But Imran Khan has an excuse for it. He says the problem is global. Prices are rising everywhere, so they're rising in Pakistan as well. Listen to this.
ये अब एक कोरोना की वजह से दुनिया के अंदर जो सप्लाई शॉर्टेजेस हुई ये अब उसकी लहर आई हुई है और इसमें पाकिस्तान अकेला नहीं है मुलव्वस इस महंगाई में.
Let's indulge him for a moment. Yes, there is a supply chain crisis. Yes, prices are rising all over the world, but that's because of the pandemic, as he himself said. Imran Khan came to power in 2018 though. Back then, there was no pandemic, no supply chain crisis. So let's look at his 3-year record instead. First, cooking oil, an absolute essential for every family. It has risen 130% since Imran Khan came to office. What about petrol? Same story, 55% rise since 2018. The Pakistani rupee is in complete free fall. In 2018, $1 was 122 Pakistani rupees. Today, it's 176. That's a 44% collapse. So this is not a recent problem. Pakistan has been mismanaging its economy for decades and Imran Khan has been no different. Overspending on the military, borrowing heavily with no oversight, poorly managed investments, all of these reasons have contributed to Pakistan's economic crisis. The pandemic was just the final blow. Until now, Imran Khan was not willing to accept this. He fell back on his favorite defense. We are doing better than India, he said. A couple of weeks back, he did the same thing. Imran Khan said Pakistan's economy was better than India's.
पाकिस्तान क्या कर सकता था? अभी भी पाकिस्तान सस्ता है. हमारी पेट्रोल और डीजल की कीमतें देखें, तेल की, और कंपेयर करें हिंदुस्तान से बांग्लादेश, हम सबसे सस्ता मुल्क यहाँ भी. इस तरह के प्रॉफिट्स इन हालात में बनना, तो कहते हैं कि जी बड़ी नाहल हुकूमत थी. तो अगर नाहल हुकूमत थी तो कोविड से भी बचा लिया, बिजनेसेस को भी बचा लिया, बेरोजगारी से भी बचा लिया, और कंपेयर करें हमें हिंदुस्तान से, बाकी मुल्कों से कंपेयर करें.
He should compare Pakistan's record with India's, and for the record, inflation in India is 5.59%, Pakistan 12.4%. So if the Prime Minister is indeed not sleeping, perhaps he should think about policy at night, not about fake comparisons with India. How to reduce military spending, for instance, how to restructure his foreign loans, how to stop China from swallowing his country. Instead, he is thinking about politics. Public pressure is building on Prime Minister Imran Khan. Religious extremists are marching to his doorstep. Opposition parties are striking alliances. What would you do in a situation like this? Maybe threaten the extremists and talk with the opposition. That's how democracies work. But Imran Khan is doing the opposite. Threats for the opposition and talks for extremists. You have to listen to what he said, and I'm quoting, "If I exit the government, I will pose a greater threat to you." Prime Minister's words. "Right now, I'm sitting quietly in my office and watching the drama unfold, but if I take to the streets, you will have nowhere to hide." He sounds less like a prime minister and more like an anarchist. Imran Khan is willing to talk with anyone, with the Tehreek-e-Labbaik, with the Baloch insurgents, but he says he will never talk to the opposition leader. And this is not political resolve, this is childish stubbornness. The fact is, Imran Khan came with many promises to end corruption, to end cronyism, to make Pakistan great again. In 3 years, He's done the opposite. Inflation is at a 21-month high, trade deficit at $5 billion, external debt has reached $127 billion. Sleepless nights will not solve these issues. Pakistan needs a complete policy overhaul, and if Imran Khan cannot do it, there's a group that's always ready and willing to take charge. Not the opposition parties, I'm talking about the Pakistani army. Mismanagement is the best excuse for any military coup, although in the case of Pakistan, they really don't need an excuse. It's become a matter of course. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.